Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back again with yet another video. By now you should know which buttons to click, what to do and what to press, so I'm going to leave that to you guys right now and I'm going to go straight into the video. So on today's video I will be giving you a quick travel guide on how to do Mpumalanga right. Given that it's now getting warmer again, spring and summer are around the corner, this is the perfect time for you to go to the beautiful province of Mpumalanga. So if you were looking for a sign, this is it. Get your squad, get your girls, get your friends, plan the trip and go. You will not regret it. Okay, so let's get into it. So when people go on holiday, there are two types of people. Group A, the ones that just want to relax, do nothing, unwind, stay in the hotel, the chalet all day and just be there. Then group B, those who are a little bit more adventurous, who want to go sightseeing, taste different foods, participate in different activities. So I personally fall under group B, and that is how this trip was orchestrated. The focus was on the things that we were going to do. So our itinerary was honestly jam-packed, but I'll get to that shortly. So Mpumalanga is a huge province. It is so big. Okay, so given that everything is so far apart, we looked at 4 major towns in Mpumalanga, which is White River, Graskop, Sabie, and Hazyview. Once we had discovered these 4, we looked at what tourist attractions are there to see in these areas, and we then crossed things out of the list until we narrowed it down to one place where we want to purely stay or look for accommodation. Right, so White River is a newly developed area, so the accommodation there is beautiful, it's modern, it's the aesthetic that us city girls like, you know what I mean? But it is the furthest, so you would probably be traveling 2 hours or an hour minimum just to get to certain activities. So because of that, we ruled it out. Then there was Graskop. Graskop is a little bit more of an older town, so the vibe was just a little bit old. So although we might sacrifice the aesthetics, but we didn't want to go that extreme where we're like in an old granny cottage vibe. So Graskop we removed off the list, and then we were stuck with Hazyview and Sabie. At the end of the day, those two were probably the best for us because there were a lot of activities within this area or convenience. So there's stores, there was spa, there was a garage so that we can pour petrol. It was just more convenient for us to be able to, if we needed anything, you could just pop in because it's 5 minutes away from you. So essentially we ended up with Sabie. And then we booked at Sabie Star Chalets. So I'll add all the details. We booked via booking.com, so I'll add the link below if you do want to check it out. So yeah, that's just from the accommodation perspective. So with the accommodation, you'll see that it is not the most aesthetically pleasing, but it is a 3-star and it was decent. We were happy with it. They did offer breakfast on arrangement. If you wanted to, you could book for it beforehand, but we ended up not doing that. We would just cook our own food and it just worked out perfectly fine. So the reason why we settled for Sabie Star is because we sacrificed the aesthetics and the beautiful accommodation for something that's a bit cheaper so that our money could go towards the itinerary. Best decision ever. But I know one day I would like to go back to Mpumalanga and book inside the Kruger and get those beautiful lodges, honey, where you have your own little private pool and an elephant can just walk up right in front of you, and or a giraffe, and I don't think you can touch it because it's wildlife, but we're going to do that next time. But for today, our priority was the activities. So day 1 was the 2nd of January. We were there for a week from the 2nd to the 9th of January. So yes, the 2nd of January was more just for us to settle in. We got into spa, got all the, you know, things that we thought that we would need, bread, rolls, eggs, etc., bacon, all that jazz. So the 2nd, honestly, we did nothing. I believe we arrived at around maybe like 1 o'clock. So the rest of the day we just had to ourselves. Sunday, the 3rd of January, the first activity that we did, we didn't waste any time, okay? We got straight into it. So we went to GZ Adventures. They do have quite a few branches within around Gauteng and outside as well. So we went to the one in Hazyview. So GZ Adventures offers quite a lot of cool activities. There's abseiling, quad biking, among a whole bunch of other things, but our focus was to go quad biking. So it's pretty cool because their quad biking is within nature, so you're not just going around in circles on a track, but you're actually going off-road into dirt road, and it was scary but it was fun. It was honestly fun. So we paid 550 Rand per person, and the duration of the activity was 1 hour. I enjoyed it up until I almost hurt myself, and then everything after that, I'll be honest with you, I was a little bit more anxious. Nonetheless, it was absolutely beautiful. We went through small streams and up hills and down hills, and at some stage it was just a beautiful scenic view where we had reached the top of the mountain and you just saw beauty. Okay, it was just stunning. We crossed the bridge, we crossed a river, you know. Yeah, it was just it was worth it. I got my money's worth from that particular experience, and I would do it all over again, even though I almost hurt myself, but it's okay. It's okay, child, it's okay. Then there was one pit stop where we could just get off, stretch our legs, and just take a bit of a break. And yeah, you know, we did that, chilled a little bit, and then we got back on, and then we turned back so that we could go back to the initial spot. So on the same day, we also then went to Elephant Whispers to see beautiful elephants. So by the way, for both of these activities, booking is required, especially under the current COVID regulations. They do want to manage numbers as well, so please make sure that you do book before you go. So with Elephant Whispers, we booked and we took the last afternoon slot. We got there, and literally as we walked in, we just, I don't want to say bumped into, but we were greeted. We're greeted with beautiful elephants. I think there were 5 of them or 4 that were just standing there waiting for our arrival. And the gentleman who was talking about the elephants just gave a little bit of a history on how old they were, how long they've had them, and you know, showed us just a few tricks. So they're quite smart. They're very intelligent animals. So they were just able to show us things that they've learned, like lift up their leg and turn around, and a few cute things like that.
All right, guys.
Afterwards, there was also an elephant interaction where one of the elephants did come closer, and we were very close to it. Okay, very, very close. They give you more details on it, the tusks, and you know, underneath the foot and all that jazz. Then individually they take us to come closer. Now you can touch it. They were making us touch the belly, touch the tusks, touch the ears, behind the ears, you know, showing us their veins, and their feet are actually like cushions. It's kind of weird. Well, it makes sense. They did explain that because it's such a big animal, all their weight obviously goes to their legs. But it was a beautiful, beautiful experience. It was scary to be up close to something so big where it could honestly just kick you and it's over for you, but that's not what we were thinking at the time, although we were a bit nervous. But it was beautiful nonetheless. That we paid 450, and the interaction was also an hour. They do also offer other things like a sunset walk with the elephants or elephant rides as well, but that is up to you. It is a little bit more expensive to do that. Then we, you know, headed back home, relaxed, and had a good evening. Then Monday the 4th of January, we went to Kruger National Park. So Kruger National Park does offer you the option to do a self-drive, or you can do a game drive, and there are a lot of different resorts that do offer game drives. I personally wanted a game drive because I didn't want to drive my car, but I was also scared that if we do a game drive, what if a lion just jumps up on us and then it's over, you know? So maybe I'm not as adventurous as I think. Well, I am adventurous, but with caution. With caution, darling. But we ended up doing a self-drive. The self-drive is 105 Rand. I cannot remember, to be honest with you, if we paid per car or if we paid per person. But if I'm not mistaken, it may have been per car. but it makes sense for it to be per person. But I'll include the link for the Kruger Park. So yeah, it is recommended that you arrive extremely early. It does get quite hot, and the animals do tend to you don't really see them on a hot day because they want to be in the shade and all of that stuff. So we arrived, or at least by 7 a.m. we were already there. And you can bring food and snacks if you're in a self-drive with your own car. We unfortunately did not see any predators or carnivores. We only saw zebras, impalas, what's Pumba? Warthog. Yeah, we saw warthogs, zebras, elephants, a whole bunch of elephants, giraffes as well. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but yeah, it was honestly a beautiful experience. If I were to go back, I would go on a game drive this time, because I know that the people who drive on the game drive they take you directly to go see the predators, so they know where to go see them, they know what to do and all that stuff, whereas we just had a map and we were just taking our chances. But nonetheless, it was amazing. I feel like we even went as far as the border, which was so hot. I think at that point the temperatures were like 38, and it was hectic, but beautiful. I'll insert some photos of the sightseeing that we saw, or the scenic views rather. It was absolutely stunning. You are also able to get out. There are different pit stops as well where you can stop along the way, get out, go to the bathroom, or have your food as well if you've prepared any or come in with any food. And we are out in the wild, literally taking a walk in the Kruger National Park. How beautiful is this view? Stunning. And there is a restaurant as well on the inside. There is mug and bean and a few stores and shops that you can shop around and stuff. So we ended up just grabbing lunch at mug and bean. Then the following day, Tuesday the 5th of January, we went to Sudwala Caves. So I want to pronounce it correctly, the Sudwala Caves, and that was 100 Rand per person. There are a lot of stairs to climb. So it's not wheelchair friendly, so if you have any issues, I wouldn't recommend going to the Sudwala Caves because they are high up. You'll be walking for a while before you actually get to the actual cave, but it is still beautiful nonetheless. If you need to go, you can take breaks along the way before you get there, so it's fine. But if perhaps you're impaired in any way, I don't know if it would be feasible for you to go there, but it was beautiful. I'm not going to go too much into that, but they do explain that the caves were used as a safe haven for Swati people, and there's a lot of, I don't want to call it rocks, but I'm not going to use the scientific terms either, but the rocks that are on the inside of the cave, they explain how they take like 100 years to form, or to, in fact, not even 100 years for it to grow, like a few centimeters, literally. But it's honestly beautiful. They've had choirs, and I think Miriam Makeba in there as well singing because of the acoustics inside. It's amazing. Highly recommended for you to go on the same day. Because this was closer, so the caves were not too far from Sabie. We then decided that we're going to go to a few of the waterfalls. So we went to Lone Creek Falls, and we also went to Sabie Waterfalls. So Lone Creek Falls, beautiful. The entrance for the waterfalls is quite cheap. It's like 10 Rand or 20 Rand, so do have cash with you, but you're not going to spend that much. And I know Lone Creek Falls did have like a little market on the outside if you want to support the people in the town. They sell just African items and things like that. It was beautiful, so do support them, please. But yeah, Lone Creek Falls is stunning. It's in Sabie, and oh my goodness, what I liked about that one, number one, is the walk from the parking area to the actual waterfall was very short, and two, you can literally come up close to the water. You can put your feet in the water. In fact, when we got there were people swimming there. I don't know if that's recommended, but I personally wouldn't swim in that water anyways. But nonetheless, it was stunning. Yeah, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So the Sabie waterfall, on the other hand, was a little bit plain, a little bit boring. but still nice to see, but not as beautiful as Lone Creek. So Lone Creek is highly recommended. That one I'd say put it on your list, get some beautiful photos there. You won't regret it at all. So yeah, that is now, what's that? That's the 5th, Tuesday the 5th of Jan. Then on the following day, Wednesday the 6th of January, we did quite a bit on this day as well, but unfortunately the weather wasn't on our side, so it did cut quite a few things short. So the first place where we went to is the Pinnacle Rock. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Also another tourist site attraction. I'll include some of the photos now, but yeah, it's honestly stunning. There's not much to do there, so it's just to see, I guess, get some good pictures and go. Again, the entrance was also probably around 10-20 rand, definitely not more than 20 rand though. Then we went to God's Window. So these areas are actually close to one another. I think Pinnacle Rock and God's Window were probably about 10 minutes apart, which is why we ended up doing it on one day. So yeah, God's Window also beautiful, 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 beautiful. You do need to walk up quite a few stairs, or quite a number of stairs, to get to the top as well to see the view. But they do have small little view spots in between, so you don't need to go to the top if you can't manage, but it's the best view there anyways. Unfortunately then the weather started changing, and because we are like in the mountains, the fog it came within minutes. Like, it was fine, then the next thing, it was everywhere. So we just needed to get out of there so that we can drive safely. It was very difficult to drive, I'll be honest with you. It started raining, and we just decided, yeah, let's not stay, we need to get out of here. But we saw what we needed to see, fortunately, again, to our chalet. So yeah, Wednesday the 6th of January, the trip was cut a little bit short, but you know, we'd rather be safe than sorry. Then Thursday the 7th of January, which was my birthday, we actually chilled, we relaxed, we stayed indoors. There was 100% chance of rain in every part of Mpumalanga that day, so the best decision was just for us to stay in, relax. And we had a hectic week before that. We had a hectic couple of days before that anyways, so we just decided to take it easy, and that's exactly what we did. Friday the 8th of January, this was probably the best day for me ever. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it, okay? But it was absolutely amazing. The second to last day, and we ended it off on a good note. So the first thing that we did is we went to the Reptile Park. Okay, that wasn't the best part. The best part starts after that. I don't like animals, and reptiles are even worse. I'm sorry, they're so scary. There were snakes there, and spiders, and crocodiles, and funny lizards and stuff. And then we watched a snake show. I personally didn't enjoy it, but I was just accommodating the people that I was going with, so we did it, and I just had to be strong. But yeah, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of things like that. I don't have the price for that, unfortunately, but I don't think it was more than 100 rand per person. So right after doing the Reptile Park, we moved on and we went to the Bourke Potholes. Beautiful. So in fact, these two, well, the next Bourke and the next attraction that we saw were the furthest. I believe we drove at least 2 hours to get there, but it was absolutely beautiful. Do not regret it. And another one with these two, in fact, we were chasing time because the weather was going to change. So I prayed that day. I was like, Lord, please just give us 4 hours, 2 hours to get there, to see what we need to see and get out. Do not let it rain, please. I have to see this place, and I want to see it with the sun shining. I want to experience it with beautiful weather, man, not overcast or nothing. So please don't rain, please don't rain. And he came through for me. It did not rain, okay? It didn't rain. So we get to Bourke Potholes, and it's also quite a distance for you to walk to actually see it from the parking area. So just do be mindful of that. Wear comfortable shoes and all of that stuff. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's beautiful. They also have a small little museum type where they explain how everything came about, or how the rocks formed, or why they look the way that they do, which is nice just for you to get a little bit of information on that. So you can just pop in there. And yeah, man, we took some photos, just appreciated the view. It was honestly beautiful. It's amazing what nature does when we allow it to be. You know, us as humans, we've just taken over and damaged a lot of things with you know, what's this, pollution and all that stuff. But anyways, there's nothing we can do. But nonetheless, it's just amazing how beautiful just nature is. Then we drove a little bit further to get to the Blyde or Blyde, but I think it's Blyde River Canyon. Guys, I'm pausing because there needs to be a dramatic pause for how beautiful that place is. You know, even in my videos, you can hear me literally just saying, wow. I could sit there for 10 minutes straight and just look. It was beautiful. If you can, please take the moment to visit the Blyde River Canyon. It is a 26-kilometer long canyon and one of the largest in the world. My goodness gracious. I don't think there's anything that I can say to describe how beautiful it is. It's one of those things that you need to see with your own eyes, because even the photos or the videos do not do it justice. Trust me, they do not do it justice. You have to go there and see it for yourself. So that was the last thing that we did on the trip. And you know what, I don't know, I could go on and on about it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to waste you guys' time. But it's beautiful. Please go if you can. Take the time to go, and don't be in a rush. Don't rush. Just sit there and admire God's creation, because that's all that you could do at that place. Whew. See, even the way that I'm talking now has changed. It really has. I want to go back. If I were to go back to Mpumalanga, I'll go back to that place every time. It's just that it's really far. Like I said, I think we drove about 2 hours, but I don't regret it. Don't even regret it, not even one bit. It was the greatest experience of my life. It was my first time going to the canyons specifically, but it was marvelous. Marvelous. That's all that I can say. So yes, guys, I hope I've given you guys all the information that you needed. That was the second to last day, and then on the last day, which is the 9th of January, we just headed back home. We didn't do anything, grabbed something to eat and left. But that's all that there is on my trip to Mpumalanga. It was amazing. It was beautiful. I would love to do it all over again. I'll probably add different things to the itinerary, but yeah, it's a must. Like I said, if you needed a sign to go, this is the sign. You must go. Plan your trip. I'll add all the details of our itinerary. I'll add the links of the website so that you guys can check it out. But thank you guys so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Thank you guys. Bye.